60 years later, the file on Flight 19 is about to be reopened. Phil Giles is one of the UK's leading air accident investigators. Advancements in aviation theory will help him determine what happened, where and why.
It's fascinating that you can still look at something which happened that long ago.
I'm not sure how to get to Fort Lauderdale from my current position. Over. If you're in the Keys, then put the sun on your port wing and fly north up the coast until you get to Miami. Fort Lauderdale is 20 miles further on.
Roger that.
It can't be over the Keys. The winds are coming from the southwest, which would blow them out over the Atlantic. Will you hand me the mic, please? Thank you. This is Port Everglades, Foxterre 28. How do you read me? Over.
This is Foxterre 28, reading you loud and clear.
This is Baker here, sir. By my reckoning, I don't think you could be over the Keys. Our wind chart suggests you can't have been blown in that direction, sir. FT28, do you read me?
FT28.
This is Commander Poole, flight officer at Fort Lauderdale. Do you read me?
The personnel in the tower and myself just got pretty quiet because of the hopeless feeling that there was nothing you could do. Tried everything.
Now, hang on. How much flying time do they have left?
Enough fuel to fly until 2000 hours, Commander.
Gives us 3 hours to get them back.
Flight 19 had been airborne for over 2 hours. According to the original plan, they would have been on the second section of the flight, having turned north over a small island. The rest of the flight were becoming increasingly concerned.
Taylor, if your compass isn't working, maybe one of us should take the lead.
Negative. Lieutenant Taylor, sir?
Don't you think that we should go west? My instruments appear to be working.
You want me to take the lead, sir?
Bossy, maintain your position, over.
At 5:20 p.m., Radio Man Baker began to realize that Flight 19 were closer to home than they thought.
I just turned down power.
Don't seem to be getting very far.
FT28, this is Port Everglades. How do you read me? Over.
Port Everglades, this is it. FT28 to Port Everglades.
Listen, Baker, if I am that close to you, I should be able to see land.
You might not sight land if you're parallel to us, or... Sir, please, you
Have enough fuel to reach us. Just keep flying toward me.
Baker, I don't think this is the route down. How long have we been going in this direction? Where in the hell are we?
Okay, guys.
When the first man gets down to 10 gallons of gas, we'll all ditch in the water together.
This is Port Everglades. FT28, do you read me? Over. Foxterre 28, do you read me? Over. Oh, come on.
Nothing was ever heard from them again. The final twist to the mystery that night came when a Martin Mariner rescue plane set out to look for them. 27 minutes later, it too vanished into thin air. Coast Guard. the largest and busiest in the world. Phil wants to know how it's possible Flight 19 could have disappeared without a trace. Why no bodies and no wreckage were ever found. Were they looking in the wrong place, or was there something else? Commander Bazzano may have the answers.
So if you take it back to 1945,
yes,
we had no technology,
right,
probably 200 miles offshore. You had a rough sea, rain showers, completely overcast.
Very difficult.
Any chance of finding?
Very difficult, yes. Just to give you some perspective, just of today, even if we do our search as perfectly as we possibly can in the most benign weather conditions, flat seas, no wind, perfect search conditions for the aircraft and crew, our best percentage of finding someone, what we call a probability of detection, is 78%.
The Coast Guard have devised a potentially dangerous exercise in order to demonstrate how difficult it is to find anyone or anything at sea.
Search conditions today are pretty much ideal. Pretty much light winds, seas are probably about 2 feet or less. Excellent visibility.
A second helicopter is about to drop an experienced swimmer in the water. In a few minutes, they'll see if they can find him again.
What we'll do is we'll kind of go out about 200 yards off to the left of them there. And then we'll go up and we'll see how close we have to be to actually find them.
Going down. Going down.
Those aircraft would have sunk very quickly. Essentially, if you're not looking in the first hour of them being reported lost and having an asset on scene, they're essentially looking for persons in the water.
It's very difficult to see something as small as a person. Think about maybe a soccer ball or a basketball. You're looking basically for something that size. Their head sticking out of the water. It's all you can really see. If you don't know exactly where the person is, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's extremely difficult to find somebody, and especially at night.
The Gulf Stream runs up between Grand Bahama Island and the Florida coast. In some cases, that's a 6-knot current. 6 knots is 6 miles, essentially nautical miles per hour. So every hour, that piece of water that somebody may be stuck on is moving 6 miles every hour. So you can imagine after 12 hours how quickly it moves up. We're talking 80 miles or so already, that it's moved just in 12 hours.
With only 30 minutes of fuel left and the current pulling the swimmer further north every minute, the pressure's on. But at least this time they know roughly where he is.
You can barely see the man like this, and he's wearing an orange neoprene suit and a big old snorkel on top. And basically you need to fly right over top of him to be able to see him. At nighttime it'd be almost impossible, I would say, to see him unless you had an extremely bright moon on flat seas.